what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a...
Alright guys, welcome to the channel. So I guess today we're going to talk about a few, major topics in the whole worldwide specs, like the 6ix9ine thing, because that's, really interesting, seeing that apparently he's passed Eminem's kill shot in most viewed video in 1 month, in 1 day on YouTube. So pretty much that's an interesting phenomenon, considering Eminem being the greatest rapper ever. Disputable, people might argue to differ. I would agree personally, but I don't knock a man's hustle. If you don't think so, you just don't. So like, a lot of people have been viewing the songs. Now personally, I have not viewed the songs, so yeah, because for me, rapping, I'm more of an old school guy when it comes to rap music. The Biggie, Method Man, 50 Cent, Nas, T.I. The good stuff. Great vocals, touching into the Lil Wayne, Drake's, the puns, the Eminem, speed, consistency, persistence, switch of the flows, saying stuff that you have to have your head on your body when you're listening to it. It's not just simple shit like what's going on with these rappers. But for me, 6ix9ine music has been more so unfulfilling. I mean, when he just started, to be honest, had the songs, everything, I was all for the, because it's really good. It's really good music to kind of bop your head to. It has a really good vibe to it. It has a really good rock. Gets you moving. It does what music is supposed to do. But in terms of creative content, for me, it always lacked a certain sense. And the thing with the shouting, I mean, for me, I thought it was more of a phase. Because if you remember when XXXTentacion, rest in peace, came in, he had the same idea of, let me just, shout. He was a very aggressive rapper. And over time, it was just calm, mellow. We got to hear his melody, his change of flows, his voice. He made a uniqueness. He had a uniqueness to him. He had a very unique sound and stuff. So that was really cool. Now, the whole 6ix9ine thing, I mean, the song is just like, for me, I expected maybe a slight change when he came back from jail. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought perhaps he would have grown in a way where he would have shown us his lyrical content and talents. The song's name is Gooba. I don't even know. Let me just go to Google and see what that means, because it is really just fascinating to see how the rap stage is evolving into some ridiculous stuff. And let's go. Let's get serious here for a second. Even though he has the most viewed video, still not gonna touch on like best-selling records like Drake and other people like that. And people have it to argue that no searches on Google for Google. This is some garbage shit. People have it on Google to say that he is. People have it to say, that he is. How do you say this now? Alright, let's see. So he's making the music, he's making the money, but he's under constant house arrest. Now, I mean, a lot of people are on him for the snitching, honestly. I mean, we know the code, the apparent snitches get stitches. However, at some point, you gotta do what you gotta do as a man. I ain't gonna knock his hustle for snitching. He seemed like he was in a bad position, and he wasn't necessarily the worst person in there. But it seems as if the persons that he snitched on where his trouble is gonna lie, because his whole thing is just like he's under house arrest constantly, has to be guarded, and getting in line with the wrong people in the first place was a mistake. But now he might have to live the rest of his life as under protection, because you never know when they're gonna come back for him. Is he gonna have shows? Because what a lot of people don't know is, yeah, YouTube views count for something. It's a lot, but what makes an artist is the amount of shows they do, because that's where they make their money. They make their money in their shows, selling albums, stuff like that. This ain't an album. I mean, it will sell, but it ain't an album or anything. And it's just a lot to take in, considering all the things that are going on. And yeah, so that's that. And so you get to see a lot of stuff go around about, whatever's going on, And I've seen a lot of people saying trash music. I've seen a lot of people say great music. For me personally, because it's not my kind of song. Still has a good rhythm and a beat, but the lyrics are just not there. And I know I said I didn't listen to it, but I heard enough to know, it's not what it is. So I have it here, and I'll give it a view. I'm pretty sure I like to check out the like to dislike ratio, because that should be interesting. By the way, copyright, so I'm gonna play a small mention. It has a lot more likes than dislikes.
I tell a nigga don't dick ride, don't blick ride, leave it to the double thick thighs, twin sisters, drop it down and walk.
Alright, so what did he just say there? Thick thighs with what? Sisters? He's using alright, so here's another interesting thing to talk about. Accents in music. Accents in music has always been a thing that people have used. We've seen it through the time. So what people do is they use different accents to rhyme words that don't necessarily rhyme. So thick thighs and sisters doesn't rhyme, but thick thighs and sisters rhymes. So you put a little, switch on it. That's a cool play on words. But to be honest, that's not good enough for what I'm trying to say. And it's the same old shouting flow, Gobble gobble. What's that? So the flow is amazing, but here's the problem. It's the same old shit, the same back to those, lyrics are just not there. And I know it's like, hater. I'm not the hater. I mean, the man has drip, the man has style. I would like to talk about, the hairstyle, the ridiculous puttings, the face stats, the colored, just everything so multicolored. But, rap is a game that's so interesting, and one of the things that we have to look at is, hey, we've seen it been done over the years by Eminem, and I like to use Eminem as an example. Lil Wayne, I like to use the more popular rappers. Everybody has come out, Lil Uzi has done some stuff, Lil Yachty in more recent times, but everybody has come out and they've tried to own themselves in a certain image. So once you see that image, you see that person, and I think that's what he was trying to do here. But his image, is a little ridiculous, to be honest. But we see people find the fun in it. But I think, in terms of music listeners today, we are so twisted and misconstrued as to what is really good music. So, not gonna classify the song as bad music, because there's a place for every music. But in terms of greatest rap songs, this could not make it, because greatest rap songs doesn't depend on what people think it depends on. Everybody's like, oh, it's about the views, or it's about the views, the likes, the dislikes. It's not all about that. It's not about the popularity of the rapper either. It's about, because popularity has to do with views, it's about the lyrical content, the flow, the style, the pattern, the timing, everything has a part to play in piecing it together and making it a great track. Now, this is something good to bop to, but bump my head to. But if I was to say to somebody like, here's a good example, write an essay about something about the song. All I really know is he's saying, listen, you a hater, and this is by listening just 34 seconds of the song. So people would say, listen to the full song, don't judge it. But I already know where it's going. I've heard other parts of the song before on clips, on Twitter, etc. The song is just basically saying, hey, you a hater, I'm back. I got the clout. I'm like the face of clout. And, I still shoot guns and kill you niggas. Nothing substantial. There's nothing to make me go, ooh, he said, something like how, like how Lil Wayne will say something and that'll be something inspirational. That'll be something to take it up. For instance, one time he said, so he was relating to a line and he said, 2 + 2 is 4, but not forever. Now, you won't get the reference because I didn't finish the line completely, but you get the gist of it. He has a pun in there. There's a double meaning to it. There's a meaning under the original meaning or the terminology. There's something to think about, to reflect on. It's like art. It's like art or poems. It's like art. I'll use art because when an artist paints an abstract picture, there's a lot more to take out of it than what you see. And some people who studied the thing will have known what they're taking out of it. But those people are the greats in the business. The simps are not simps. I just want the meaning of the word. The people who come along and they're just, lovers of art, but they're not really experts at it. They will look at it and say, oh, it's nice and beautifully colored, but it's just abstract. I don't understand what's going on. Whereas they will look at a simple painting of the sea and say, that is magnificent, which it is magnificent, but it's not quite as good as the abstract. But because you don't understand, you'll never be able to compare the two and see where it lies. So it's the same thing for music. An artist with a great flow job, saying a couple stuff that you can't understand, you will always pass over that artist music. As the younger generation will always tend to pass over that artist music and be just unable to see what is really going on, which is why artists like Eminem, Lil Wayne, artists like those, they're just simply not, they're making rounds, but they're not making the same rounds they were back in the days, because people back in the days knew what quality rap was. People nowadays, we only listen for the beats and the garbage, because we love it when they say stupid stuff. We love it when people say stupid stuff. We don't take rap for the seriousness of it. We don't play it. We don't go in expecting some real emotion. We go in expecting somebody who can say, I've got money, jewelry, girls, cars, sex, drugs, all the magical things of the world. We don't go in for the real truth, like something NF would say, where it's like, something even we face as people, but we refuse to listen to a song that has that style to it or has that in it. So somebody will say, oh yeah, I woke up this morning, I didn't feel like me. I felt, down and depressed. And as I lay, it's like I wanted to lay my head to rest. It was the death of me, the best of me. But God delivered me. I mean, I'm not going Christian here, but I'm just saying, like, people will say lyrics, those aren't real lyrics, I'm just, on the spot saying something. And people won't want that, but they want a nigga to say, hey, I got the Mollies, I got the wheels, I got the Richard Millie on my wrist, I got them kicks, I got them A-forces and them A1s, nigga, with the blue coat. Got 2 bitches, one on my left, one on my right, nigga, I got the red at the side. You know what I'm saying? Just some overall shit. We, first of all, officers ain't shooters, so we just like to hear about shooting, but we ain't shooting. And if you give us a test, we don't condone it, but we still listen to it as lyrics. But we won't listen to somebody who is putting out emotions, unless it's probably Drake, because everybody, a lot of people like Drake. I won't say everybody, but just you get the general idea is that we just don't take the shit serious enough. And I'm not saying by any means people shouldn't like the song or they should dislike the song, but the whole idea is to remember that we're making these people as great as they are, and I'm not saying in any way he doesn't deserve the greatness. 135 million views, but in retrospect, when you think about it, is this really that good of a song? Was it really worth it for the wait that we waited while he was in prison? It really wasn't. It was just, yeah. So it's just, I hope overall not worth it, and it wasn't better than what we had before. It's just the same thing, back on the horse, not getting a new improved horse, not learning anything. We're still popping. We're still saying we're popping. We're out in the streets. We have to be at home constantly because niggas want to pop us. Yeah. So it's just like there's no improvement. There's nothing new to it. This next song that he puts out will get less views than this one. Why? Because everybody just wanted to hear this because 6ix9ine is back. The man who snitched is back. Who wouldn't want to hear from the man who came back out of jail? Like, a lot of people were expecting him to rot in jail, and he's back. Even after the snitching, a lot of people believed, hey, this man ain't gonna come out of jail after he snitched. It's just gonna be a thing. He just told them his sentence is shortened, but he ain't gonna come back. And in a space of about a year, he's back. So a lot of people are just, you have the haters that are gonna be like, don't deserve to be back. You have the people who are like, thank God he's back. You got the people like me who are just like, hey, it is what it is. I am neutral to the situation. I'm neither complaining that he's a snitch, nor am I saying I condone it. I was just expecting, to hear, since he's come back, I was expecting him to talk a little more on the situation. Imagine if Eminem had done that for us, Lil Wayne, Drake. They would have had a couple sublims to say, something to explain how they feel and what's happening. All he's explained is that, hey, I'm back, I still have money, and I can get drugs, talking my videos. There's not much to the song, there's not much being said about what's going on. So, it's just a song, it's just some cool lyrics, maybe, a little bit of that. So I'm just saying, it's something to think about as people. What do we really want to hear? That is a horrible post, by the way, let me just say. And I saw the whole Twitter thing. The live, on Instagram, the live, about the pricey chains and the ice on your neck. It's good stuff to have ice, but really, just think about the kind of music you consume. That's it for now, I just wanted to voice over this gameplay and just put it up. And that was an interesting topic to talk about, so I just delved in.
Safe in the business, not because they want to do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised?